What's going on, my lovely residents of evil? Name drop. The mansion is creepy as fuck. New Resident Evil film director says. Director Johannes Roberts says Carpenter was his filmic inspiration. So what is this? Well, IGN can't spell ignorant without having IGN in it. Posted up an interview they had with Johannes Roberts. He goes on to say all this stuff, creepy as fuck, blah 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 blah. This new big screen adaptation is a completely new film franchise, unrelated to the massively successful franchise from Paul W. S. Anderson. Well, it's got a kiss ass even when they know they're a pile of shit films. But anyway, so there's Johannes Roberts. That's what he looks like. I've got to be honest with you, wasn't familiar with what sort of director he was previously, and his efforts previously haven't really lived up to much. Let's just say that. He made a Strangers sequel. I remember seeing the first Strangers and thinking, subpar slasher flick. And then he's done like 47 Meters Down or something, which is a shark thriller or shark horror film. They haven't been that great. So I don't have much faith in him, I've got to be honest. Simon McQuaid, in retrospect, when it comes to the Mortal Kombat film, I believe he's done one film and it was received well, I think. Don't quote me on that. He's only ever done like one film. If you go on his IMDb, maybe he's done TV shows and things like that, I'm not sure, series. But the proof is in the pudding, and it speaks for itself when we see the trailers for Mortal Kombat and how badass they look, and the team that's surrounding him, and the fact that everybody really wants to get it on point. With Resident Evil, we haven't had any trailers, so we don't have anything to go by other than the sets and the costume designs. But I've always been trepidatious with this reboot of, Resident Evil, or at least the Resident Evil movies, live action. And I generally do feel like this guy could just fuck it up, just like Paul Anderson did. Now, people forget that Paul Anderson made a little film called Event Horizon. Event Horizon was a decent horror film. It's actually up there. Like, it's one of my favourite horror films, definitely, that's ever come out. One of my favourite sci-fi horror films. It's really good. It was emulated by a Dead Space. Dead Space incorporated bits and pieces from Event Horizon. It's gone on to sort of, like, inspire a lot of, like, video game art and things like that, and the way that it deals with things, it kind of borrows a little bit from like Doom, let's just say that, and has like the hellscape and things like that the ship goes through. And if you'd have told me that he was going on to make Resident Evil back in the day, because I didn't know who was actually directing it back in the day other than George A. Romero, I would have said, wow, okay, Paul Anderson, yeah, he's got the chops to direct a horror film, definitely. He did alright with the Mortal Kombat film. Event Horizon was really good. He's got the chops. It's going to be definitely violent and gory, and have that atmosphere and all this stuff. As it turns out, Resident Evil, the first film, while enjoyable, is a 7 out of 10 film. It's not that amazing. It's not scary. It's not that gory. It's withheld, in terms of gore. And it's nothing like Resident Evil, really, realistically. There's little bits and pieces sewn throughout, obviously, because it's based on Resident Evil. So he fucked it up. So to see this director, Johannes Roberts, who's, had a track record of making kind of shitty horror films, doesn't fill me with a lot of hope. So, let's read this. To kick off the new Resident Evil cinematic world, horror movie director Johannes Roberts was tapped to deliver a scarier movie adaptation. He goes on to say, the big thing for this movie is tone. The thing I loved about the game is they were just scary as hell. And that is very much what I wanted to do, says Roberts. That atmosphere, it's rain, it's constantly dark, it's creepy. Raccoon City is kind of this rotten character in the movie, and that sort of atmosphere in the games is what I wanted to portray on film. Ad-libbing there. Sorry. Roberts says his filmic inspiration for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, stupid subtitle in my personal opinion, was John Carpenter. But not the movies you might think. Now, I already guessed what films he was talking about. I knew Precinct 13 would be in there, because I believe the original Resident Evil 2 borrowed heavily from Assault on Precinct 13, one of my favourite Carpenter films. I just watched that recently, along with Escape from New York. I own They Live, and I think Carpenter's best film is The Thing. And all the other films I've seen, of course. And then his later movies, not so great. But using his older stuff, his 80s stuff as influence, yeah, I can get behind that. That's cool. So then we have a look at the cast comparisons. I've already gone through all the cast that are appearing in the film. No Barry Burton, no Rebecca Chambers, which is weird. I'm a huge John Carpenter fan and really took to that. The way he tells his claustrophobic movies. Did I read that wrong? The way he tells these claustrophobic siege movies, and I took movies like Assault on Precinct 13 and The Fog, and these disparate group of characters coming together under siege, and I took that as my filmic inspiration. Roberts says the movies will take place in both Raccoon City and the police station, as well as the Spencer Mansion. We have two very separate locations, but we split people off into their worlds. Okay, one is more of a siege movie style, that's Resident Evil 2, with the police station, and then you have the mansion, which is creepy as fuck. Okay. I mean, there's not much. Can we read any more here? There's not much else to talk about. He's pretty much just summed it up. He doesn't give too much away. There's no real leaks. I've trying to find some, and there's none. They're keeping it very close to their chest, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Like I said in my previous video, my Mortal Kombat video, Mortal Kombat are going full on with it now because they know the film's about to come out. And yeah, Mortal Kombat did get leaked, and when it first got leaked, I thought, right, it sounds shit. As time's gone on, and I've seen it kind of progress, and how they've changed little bits and pieces, it looks really good. Like, it looks very, very good. Whereas Resident Evil, all we've got is set photos and things like that to go by. And yeah, if costumes and set designs are measured, then it looks really, really good. It looks very close to what the games are. But I just feel like the mansion's going to be really small. And I don't know how it's going to work. It could work really well, have a smaller mansion, and I don't know, and then have the police department along with Raccoon City. It could work really, really well. But I just have this really, I don't know, I have this doubt and this feeling and this really gnawing gut instinct that he's going to just place bits and pieces from the games in a very mediocre horror film. That's what I feel like he's going to do. And I really don't want someone to treat the Resident Evil name like that. I mean, in the interview, if you to read on more, he goes on to say that it's Resident Evil 2 Remake that really inspired him and got his juices flowing, and that's when he was like, I want to make a film based in this world. Yeah. And that's great, because Resident Evil 2 Remake is a brilliant game. But he's not like, it seems like he's dabbled and been there for the games that have come out previously, but he's not too, do you know what I mean, familiarised with them. He's more like, okay, Resident Evil 2 Remake, I've played this, I've played all the way through it, amazing, let's make a film. And to me that screams alarm bells sometimes, definitely. Or he's maybe played the remake of the first game, I don't know. The fact they're squashing two stories, two plots that could hold their own, just on their own, has me a bit worried. That's what I will say, and it just feels like it's going to be a bit of a mess. And if you look at his other films, maybe his other films are a bit of a mess. Let's look at the sign for Raccoon City, which I quite like. We'll go straight to it. Cut over to the images. So we have this: welcome to Raccoon City, enjoy your stay, home of Umbrella. Like I said, set designs, costumes, from what I've seen, look pretty damn decent. And then we have this other photo, which is new. Like a parking lot or something. Welcome to the, I think that's the orphanage. No, it's the RPD. Okay, yeah, so it's the front of the RPD. Yeah, all in all, I think I'm going to end it, but all in all, I have doubts about this film, and just because of the calibre of the director. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Screen Gems have learnt their lesson. I doubt it very highly. I hope this director isn't just trying to make a quick buck and a name for himself, which I'm afraid to say he might be, using Resident Evil as the name to do that. And he doesn't sound like he's familiar with all of the Resident Evil lore, just really the stuff that he's had to grab and gain to make this film. And that's why I have an issue. So, I might have felt a bit different if I hadn't seen the Mortal Kombat trailer, but seeing as that looks so fucking epic, this I don't know. I feel like there's gonna have to be one that flops. You know what I mean? It's that setting myself up. Yeah, I'm not setting myself up. That's the thing. I know there's going to be one out of the two that's dog shit, and I feel like this is going to be one that's dog shit, and Mortal Kombat's going to be one that's really, really good. Because it just feels like there's more passion as well when they've interviewed Simon McQuaid and the team that are working on MK, and there's less passion from this guy. That's the feeling I get from when I read these articles and these interviews. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's good. Like even a 7 out of 10 film that's based more on the lore and looks more like Resident Evil with decent acting and the characters get into their roles. That'd be cool. I'll enjoy it. It'd be fine. You know, if we can push that to an 8 out of 10, we've got a good Resident Evil film. But I do feel like this is going to be the one that's dog shit. And Mortal Kombat's going to be the one that succeeds and smashes it. And warrants more sequels. Anyway, we'll just have to see, okay? Like I said, don't forget, Screen Gems are still involved in this, okay? They produced all the previous Resident Evil movies from Paul Anderson. So just remember that. This director, from what I've seen from his IMDb and the films that he's made previously, haven't been that great. They haven't been that great. They've all been extremely subpar horror films. So we're just going to have to see. We're just going to have to see if this is his swan song. And I doubt it's going to be. I'm going to be honest with you. Anyway, we'll see when we get to see the film and when a trailer finally surfaces. It's coming out in September, I believe. I think it was like September 3rd or something like that. It was around September. So I'm sure a trailer will appear just before then to promote the film. It's a bit weird how they are just, keeping the... No, there's no release date here. It's a bit weird how they're keeping it so close to their chest. It can either mean that it's really good and it's going to excite fans like myself, or it's really shit and they know they fucked up and they don't want to show people what it looks like until... it's about to come out. We shall see. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Are you excited for the film? Do you think it's going to be dog shit like me? Well, I'm in two minds, like I said. I think it could turn out to be dog shit, or it could actually surprise us. But what do you think? If you like the video, smash the like button. And if you want to keep updated with any more Resident Evil reboot movie news, keep it locked on my channel by subscribing. Until next time, I've been System Check 66, and once again, I'm signing out. Peace.